Drink Show! Dad's Drink Show! Dad's Drink Show! Dad's Drink Show!
Hey, it's the Dad. I didn't turn off the audio. It's the Dad's a Drink Show.
Yes, sir.
We'll edit that out. Hey, welcome to episode 6.
Yeah, 6. Wow, look at this.
Oh, baby, we're rocking and rolling now. By the way, to get this out of the way up front, this episode is for mature audiences only. If you are not above the legal age of consent, please change the channel. It's like going to porn sites when I'm 12 years old and they're like, "Are you 18?" Yes.
Sure I am.
Ooh, like Ann Anderson's tits. Anywho, also to get some housekeeping out of the way, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because that would help us out. You know, and episode 4, we didn't even have to pay Tom Segura for, so you know, we've made like 22 cents, I think, on the show so far. So, but if you subscribe, you like the video, drop a comment below. You know, sometimes we're gonna be. I think we've been pretty good about being in the live chat when the show's premiered.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like episode 5, which came out last week, of course, we all know there was the NFL draft going on, so we were a little preoccupied with other things. But anywho, subscribe, like, comment, and share it with a friend. This is a good show.
Look, I'll tell you this. One of the things Jeff and I both talked about coming into this is we want feedback, right? Just whatever it is. I mean, just throw a comment. Say it's good, say it's bad, whatever. That sort of stuff is engaging because we're just in the infant steps of this whole thing. We want to grow it and continue to move. So every like, every subscribe, every comment, that really helps us out a ton, not just in some nonsensical algorithm thing, but as in knowing what you want and how we can help get you that. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Thank you, whatever your name, Jimbo Cowboy, following.
Yes.
We don't know who you are, but we appreciate you. So hey, another housekeeping item I brought up last episode about the Office blackout drunk story, and I mentioned the dodgeball. And
yes.
there is video. So just to get this out of the way, I am this. Damn it! It went back to the beginning. I am the guy whose ass is right in front in the bowling shirt.
Oh,
right
here, okay.
Yeah, let me get to okay, 45 seconds in. All right, so you see me here going off to grab a loose ball.
I see you scrabbling.
I'm very agile, very agile. In my defense, I was about a liter of Captain Morgan in at this point, and the sand is not exactly. And by the way, look at how beautiful St. Petersburg is.
It's really nice. Look, what I'm looking at is I appreciate the human shield that you have found for yourself, ducking behind to grab a dodgeball with like 6 people in front of you. Strategery.
Oh, no, a lot of those people, the red shirt people are on the other side of the net. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle. See, yeah, all those people right there, they're all on the other side. I'm like on the far left edge of the court right now.
Oh, so you only have one tank in front of you. You have one human shield.
Yeah. So look at that deflection. Look at that deflection.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. Now here is my moment of glory / shame. Coming up right here. I'm on the prowl. You see me? Yeah, curl up's coming. Look at that arm action.
Dropping them back. I see a step and throw.
In the face! In the
face! Money shot.
Court 6.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. The ball's left my arm right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I realized with these balls, I've got a pretty big hand, but if you don't get on top of it, it just it
It'll float a
floats
little.
out or it goes, So I kind of figured the sidearm angle was the way to do it to really get your oomph behind it. And this poor girl,
I can't disagree with the results. Bam! Oh, that's like the head just spins.
broke her sunglasses. And here's the part that I hate, because in my story I feel terrible, but if you look at this guy right here, does he feel terrible?
Not at all. Not at
No,
all.
she's out.
Nope.
Yeah, and shout out to my coworker for his commentary.
In the face.
In the
Look,
face.
Yo, so where I'm at in Wilmington, Delaware, they have this. They do this whole adult athletic league, but it's not anything like taking over that softball where it's old like frustrated athletes who didn't make it. Instead, it's like a Delaware sports league. So literally, they have leagues for like kickball and dodgeball. And so it's just you go out, you get matched up with a bunch of random people, they become your team. A bar sponsors the night, you have a game, then you go get drinks, right? So I did dodgeball one year, and we had this girl who used to pitch for her college softball team. Dude, she was a murderer. She did the big wind up with like the hit off the oh my God. Dude, it was so funny watching her just pick dudes off one by one.
Can I also say, by the way, that girl got to come back into the game because it was a headshot, which apparently is disallowed. Bullshit.
Frowned upon. No, we're
Bullshit.
adults.
We're adults. You take it in the
Right.
head. DeMario Davis in the Pro Bowl, they had dodgeball. He won the competition, and they eliminated him because he hit whatever AFC pussy player he hit in the head.
Mm.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys play football?
Right.
You're
Yeah,
eliminating a guy for headshotting and
right.
dodgeball?
Yeah, okay. Now the concussion thing's going a little too far.
Yeah. Well, look,
Like,
look. And me with this girl, yes, I wasn't trying to hit her in the face. I was aiming here. The shot went a little higher. But look, if I hit her in the sternum, is that much better than if I break her?
no.
It is. Yeah. No, that was.
And I can't speak for what you guys were playing with, but in my adult soft, like dodgeball league, these were all like foam rubber balls that I don't give a shit. Nolan Ryan
like
could have thrown
kickballs.
these. They were kickballs. Oh, okay, that one might have left a mark.
It probably hurt. I hit her right here, and her glasses broke into her face. And I didn't play the rest of the video where I got eliminated and she came back in and we lost. But that's besides the point. I
love the throwback.
So what was so awesome showing up to your office and having people like, I heard you assaulted a chick this weekend. It's like, come on, man.
You need to clarify that, okay? We're in a day and age where you need to clarify that.
Speaking of assaulting, no, we're talking about strip clubs today.
Oh, yay.
And if you thought that was the most embarrassing video, well, it is the most embarrassing video of myself I'll show you, but I've got a couple of photos that I'll show you, and some stories, and I'm guessing you might have some too. So
Just a couple.
Let's start things off with a scene that we haven't used this show yet, so we'll be cautious of having to pay them all of our money from this episode, but we'll see how it goes.
Be nice to a Seth.
Where should we sit? That's not up to me, kid. I follow the old divining rod. Whoa!
The fuzzy clam. Give it to South Park. Like South Park
Family Guy.
Right. I'm bringing it back. Family Guy. They have a way of tying it all together. And And Chris, quite honestly, just spoke my heart as we go forward.
How old are you?
Old enough to know you're a whore.
That's it. Isn't that so? Like to pause on that for a second. Isn't that the first time you go into a strip club? I feel like the girls can see it on your face, right? Like you're like flashing lights, boobs. Like fucking vultures to a dead roadkill something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the analogy. I'm stupid and drunk. But
Look, there's a graduation level that at least speaking for me, and I've seen it for my friends. The first time you go to a strip club, you really are still like inside. You're like, oh my God, naked, attractive women. Thank you, lighting. But oh my God, like I need to play this cool guy or whatever. The more time you spend in a strip club, like Chris is like a grizzled old veteran now, right? Once you graduate to the point where you're like, oh no, I understand you're a whore. And doesn't mean I'm going to disrespect you. It just means I'm not going to buy you Red Bull and vodkas all night.
Right. Well, that's the key to it, right?
Right.
Whoa! Whoa!
And I need to figure out our configuration. There we go.
There we go.
I like it for just. Well, and him throwing his money, that's another. But look, I know. I think I don't watch Family Guy, but I think this is Quagmire, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that's an amateur move too.
Oh, 100%.
Like, you've got to be like, I don't know, what does that get me? There's a lot of negotiations prior to,
It's going to get deeper as we go in this, but it really is. You have to start understanding it's a completely different environment of everything that you can be. Guys, much like myself, when I was in my early 20s, the first time going to the strip clubs, I wasn't a dude who was a quote unquote ladies man. I wasn't a guy that was very comfortable with talking with women or whatever. So I'm in this situation and I'm trying to like, how can I stick out? And my mentality was that nice guy. So I'm like, the first time I'm not handing them singles, I'm stuffing a 5 in the string. And I'm like, but you understand that just makes you like, you're that
makes you a bigger mark though.
Yes. It just makes you a bigger mark. And it's a weird,
sometimes
you got to learn this.
Sometimes you want to be the bigger mark.
Well, I mean, every now and then, look, again, understand the game you're playing. If you're going to mark out.
Well, look, the one strip club in my home county, and I live in the strip club capital of the world, Tampa Bay. You can't throw a stone without hitting a strip club. In St. Pete, not as many as Tampa, probably, but yeah, you can't drive down the road without passing a strip club. Like, that's a discussion you have with your kids at like 6. Like, what goes on in there? It's like naked people dancing on poles. Why? It's just a thing.
You'll understand later. What's funny, you mentioned it makes you a mark, right? I'm a big wrestling fan. I just own it. But you talk about marks who buy out for that. But then there's guys who graduate and they call themselves like smart marks. So they're smarks, right? But you're still a mark. You're still a mark. No, even when you're smart to it, you're still a mark.
It's so the strip club I probably been to more than any other one locally. Every hour at least they do a thing where they play girls, Motley Crue.
Yes.
And the girls, back when I first started going, it was like, hey, you want to get 3 lap dances for $20? The girls are going to circulate the room. They all walked up on stage, walked around, and I always sat at the bar, which was like the back end. Like, so all the good girls got sniped. So by the time they got to me, I'm like, your C-section scar and wrinkles are disturbing for me as a 21-year-old man, but 3 for $20 is hard to pass up. But you talk about smart mark. throw a little influence money around, and then the hot girl who's off stage first, she's walking to you. And then if she doesn't get you, she has a handful of other guys down the bar she can try. And if not, I'm sure she can circle back around. But it was always like, I remember one time I was at that strip club during the day. And there was a lot of girls who were my size, probably smaller boobs, bigger waists, swinging around on the pole. And I'm just drinking. My buddy's smoking a cigar. It is what it is. It's daytime strip club. And then this thin, beautiful young girl goes up on stage. And I tell my buddy, who this was his first time at a strip club, I'm like, here's $10. Go up there, put it in your G-string, and say, my buddy back there would love to meet you. Baller
Fish in
move.
a barrel. Baller move. Fish in a barrel.
Well, because look, she's not making money. They have to work shit shifts, even the good ones. She was like one of the calendar girls. She's like, oh, here's the calendar. I'm like, okay, I don't care. And we won't talk about the drugs and stuff that maybe or maybe doesn't go on. That's going to come up for sure.
So I'm going to get this out of the way early, and it's something that I have forever had this argument with. Is I've dated girls, I know girls, whatever, that whenever strip clubs come up, they get into this weird feminist sort of way. Like it's degrading to women, and it's this. I apologize, but if you've never stepped foot into a strip club, the only people who are being degraded at a strip club are us. Like, I mean, the women completely understand and know what they're doing. The degrading part is the men who continually throw money over and over and over and lap dance and lap dance and lap dance. I mean, look, okay, degrading might be a little hard to say for a guy, but I'm just saying, if anybody's taking advantage of the other here, it's not the guys.
No,
we don't hold the spade. We don't have
right.
the ace. Right.
It's a very interesting dynamic, and I think so part of it is I actually had a stripper kind of backlash at me because I had one of these weird moments of like, let's say champagne room, things finished, and inside of a certain something else. So that was fine, but nonetheless, there was the latex removed. I still noted that there were, again, adult audiences only. This is your last chance to bail out, folks. We've warned you multiple times. But I've also noticed, like, slobber is a bad seeming word, but slobber on her tits. And she got up, and she's got latex stuff, she's got slobber, and she's like, I'll meet you at the bar, I just need a few minutes to clean up. And I was like, oh, what did I just do?
That instant moment of regret.
Well, I didn't regret it, but I felt bad for her. Like, she made a few $100. I mean, it was.
I mean, look.
It obviously wasn't non-consensual. But so I said something to her, and she snapped back at me like, "I fucking know what I'm doing." Like, don't. Like, I'm like, oh, all right. I'm sorry. That was.
Look. I'm not going to lie. We all have this guy in the friend group, and I will call out any man. I challenge you in the comments, come anywhere else, come see us face to face. I will tell you're full of shit if you've ever stepped in a strip club and not once did you think in your head, nah, but she really likes me. Every guy has been there. Absolutely. There's not a dude who's been into a strip club who has not been sold on the fact that, like, no, I'm different.
No, well,
we all have.
Can I say this? They don't like me, but they know I'm an open fucking credit card because I am one of the few people I know who has had multiple strippers text me afterwards.
Yes.
And I was always like, they're going to say, I need $200 for an abortion. I was always,
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Never. They're always like, hey, it was a lot of fun. You should come out to the club this weekend.
Right.
And I'm always like, not this weekend. So look, they know I'm more valuable as a loose spigot than as an abortion or one-time payment.
I'm a guy who will tell you that I've been lucky enough in my life to make a very nice living being in sales. I'm sorry, but the greatest closers I've ever seen in my entire life are strippers. Absolutely. They are the greatest. They don't miss a closing opportunity. They always ask for the deal. They always keep pushing for more. And eventually you're going to give into this. And like, we've all been there. I had a buddy of mine who went through a pretty nasty divorce. And during the time, he would always just go to the strip club. And again, I'm not in St. Pete, Jeff. So imagine the quality of the strippers that you have in St. Pete compared to Wilmington, Delaware. I'm just saying. But I
don't want to imagine.
Oh, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. But we would go there, and he was a man in need of confidence, and they provided each other a service. He provided them money. They provided him confidence. But we're sitting there, and he was like, yeah, I have all these strippers' numbers. And the first thing in my head is like, yo, dude, how much money have you spent? Are you good? We all right? He's like, well, if a stripper calls you when you're not like at the club, I'm like, no, she still wants money.
Oh, yeah.
Right. No, they still want money. Like, no. And even if not, I'm sorry. I've seen the dating shows or the reality TV and the horrible nonsense of it all. I could never. I like to think of myself as a confident man now. I used to be really petty jealous in my early years. I consider myself a confident guy that if I'm with somebody, I'm okay with whatever it is they're doing, whoever they're hanging out with. I don't get fucked up about that. I could never date a stripper. I can't put it together. Like,
I think I'd be okay with it but depends on how the situation arose, the dating part of it. Because I know from a fact, and this is not the greatest. I might as well dive right in, right? Given all the
let's go.
Here, let's jump into one picture of me at a strip club. There we go.
Amateur night?
No, this was at a Tampa strip club where they in Tampa you can't have full nudity and alcohol in the same venue. So me and a couple friends, obviously I didn't take this picture myself. We went from the alcohol place. We walked across the parking lot to the full nude bar, which was completely empty. So I decided to get on stage and dance. Then I got off, and the girl we were with got up, and a security guard walked in and screamed at her. But I got off. I mean, we all got off scot-free. Let's be clear. But just to say, so I'm not a stranger to these establishments, obviously. But one oh boy, there's another photo that I'm
you're already in. I mean, if you're gonna go all in. I'm just saying.
Anyways, one night I was in Tampa. I'm gonna dive into this. This is the worst story ever, folks. So I was at a country bar with a couple friends, and I blacked out drunk. Right, sink or swim night, line dancing place. I don't line dance, but country bar. Blackout drunk. I don't, just things fade black. And when I come to, well, I guess we're diving right in with the mature content. I'm snorting coke off a stripper's ass, and she's blowing me. At the same time.
I'm trying to figure the logistics of it all, but
so this is how I come to it. I'm like,
thank God for the devil's dandruff to bring you back awake. You're like, what the fuck?
this is great, but also what the fuck? And I was told that girl, I was in the VIP room, and initially I went back with another girl, and I took just dropped my shorts, my jeans. I was probably wearing jeans if we went to a country bar, and this is all retold to me from somebody else. She said, "Oh, I'm not that kind of girl. I'll go get one who is."
Yay!
And so here's my roundabout way of saying, so I'd be okay dating one of those strippers who was not one of those kind of girls. Like, I don't care what money you're offering me. I'm not doing that. I'll grind on your crotch, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find it hard to believe that they're not that kind of girl.
The trust would be, I feel like part of it's like, I would need to be earned. Like, I'd need to be at the club being like, yeah, I want to fuck you, and be like, nah, I'm not that kind of girl. And then be like, all right, you want to go get dinner?
Right.
Yeah, I think that progression would work for me.
All right, so wait a second. Now, spending any time in those clubs, I know you've seen, just like every dude has, there's always one or two dudes at the bar who are way too comfortable with like the bartender. It's like obvious that they know each other, but he's not a DJ. So you understand that like he's dating one of these girls. So dude who is dating the stripper is sitting inside that bar and watching her. That goes to the whole cuckold thing. Like, I just can't. I almost
got in a fight with one time at that club I was talking about with the girl cycled. So I was actually friends with the bartender at that club at the time, because I went to college with her. Like, we had classes together, so I knew her. So I'm like, that girl's fucking 10 out of 10. Can you say something? Make sure she comes to me. And apparently her boyfriend was there, and he watches like a hawk, and he did not take kindly. Look, I'm 36 years old, but 15 years ago, I was 100 pounds lighter. I was muscular, and I was, it was somebody that would make a boyfriend jealous, we'll say. And he didn't take kindly to that. And I'm like, all right, well, first off, fairly certain nothing fun's going to happen back there. So we're good. Like, I'll pass on the fight. You don't make any money and go fight with your boyfriend at the club. That's
How dare
I'll take
want
this
to
40-year-old.
I'll
take this 40-year-old coke addict.
Oh Jesus, dude!
3 for 20.
It's what's really cool though is I do think, again, there are so many multiple levels of strip club. One, I think anytime you go into a strip club and you see a dude who's just sitting by himself over in the corner with nobody else, and he's got like a beer and a stack of ones, like, that's creepy as shit. That dude is damn near a serial killer. Like, there's something odd about that. Like, if you're just, I don't know. No. All right. Defend solo drinker with a stack of ones, because to me,
the stack of ones is harder.
Right. The solo
drinker, I'm like, I've been that guy where it's just like, I got nothing to do. I'd like to get laid. I'm gonna see where what I can solicit.
So wait a second, because
hey,
I know
cops,
this.
Don't watch this episode.
Look, I know this. I know this as a football fan, and you're down in Tampa, St. Pete. You have massage parlors where you can just take the mystery away from that, right? Like, you can just go to a massage parlor and go like, here's my money.
I don't know of any.
So the guy who's there,
hey, hit us up in the comments.
Give Jeff some suggestions.
Come on,
I'm just
help
saying,
brother out.
It's those guys are a little odd to me. Most of the time that I've spent in a strip club since like my mid-20s have always been on like guy trips or something where you're with a bunch of dudes. And I'll tell you this, you mentioned Tampa St. Pete. Dude, I will take the Pepsi challenge with you anywhere in the U.S. outside of Vegas. Vegas is its own world. You can't touch Vegas. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. All it has is golf courses and strip clubs. Period. That's it. Every dude below the Mason-Dixon line and some above take golf trips to Myrtle Beach because there's like hundreds of golf courses, but between every golf course is like 3 strip clubs. So literally it's a reason to get away from the wife or the girlfriend. So you're like, oh no, I'm going with the guys to play golf. You play 18 in the morning and then it's just strip clubs all night. Literally one of the biggest strip clubs there is called the Masters Club. And when they do their dance around, Jeff, when they go like, oh, you can get a dance with whoever, they give you a sleeve of golf balls that have a logo on it that says the Masters Club with like golf flags. Like, dude, over one weekend, there was like 10 of us that were down there. Every strip club we went into, because at the time I was in a group of guys who were obviously successful. I don't know any other way to say it. We would come in the afternoon and it was obvious that these guys, they had done well in their lives or where we were. And so that was immediately the stripper magnet. Everybody would just run over. But literally the second thing out of the girl's mouth would be like, so you guys golfers? Like, yeah, no, we were here to play golf, which is the first time that I learned, Jeff. Did you know that strippers travel? Did you understand this? Yes. There's an exchange program.
Like around town or like
cities. So I'm talking to these strippers in Myrtle Beach and I'm like, so where are you from? They're like, Chicago. I'm like, how'd you end up in South Carolina? They're like, golf season. I'm like, wait, so you guys, there's a stripper exchange program? Yes. They're like traveling nurses. They're just like, well, time to go for golf season. And they all just flock to the beaches. I had no idea. I applauded them for, again, hey, if you're going to get it, right? You said earlier, you're going to go all in. Dive in, dude. But these girls were from all over the country, and they had flocked to Myrtle Beach because this is when golf season starts. And all of the golfers are there on golf trips. And it's the most debaucherous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was definitely a different level.
Yeah. Jesus. That's
no, it's
so I guess I should be going to Myrtle Beach.
Just go give it a shot. Look,
I'm pulling up Expedia.
It is fantastic in that, again, you've got a bunch of guys who are away, and again, these are just like smart business women, really. I mean, golf's not an inexpensive hobby. So you have guys who have a disposable income. They end up in these clubs.
I'm worried about the future of stripping, though, with OnlyFans.
Bro.
Like, if you don't need to actually touch the dudes, you can make the money on your fucking camera.
Dude, I've said this over and over. Okay, think about this. Like, how angry would you be if you were like an old school stripper, and like you had to go to the champagne room and you had to do some vile shit to be able to make the money you needed to make
with this guy.
And then the Cash Me Outside girl opens up her OnlyFans and makes $1 million in the first day. Oh, you got to be the angriest person in the entire world. Like, bitch, you got no idea. Do you know what I used to do for $20? Oh, it's a whole different level. But now, since the OnlyFans world, I haven't really been to many strip clubs. So I don't know how that's affected it. Has it brought the quality down? It's had to have, right?
I have not been to a strip. Well, that's not true. I have not spent money at a strip club, significant money, at a strip club for at least 3 or 4 years. I was at one last year, but that J-Lo movie, Hustlers, whatever.
Yeah.
And look, I'm a guy. I guess. You know, here's my most expensive purchase of my life. Why not? Right? I think I protected their faces. I won't leave it up for too long, but
Okay.
I think I censor the areas that need to be censored.
Are they real?
That night, and by the way,
not
let
real.
me be clear. I did not take this photo.
You had the selfie hand.
I did have my hand out. You know who took this photo? Tits over here to my left.
Okay.
She's the one who took the photo, and she texted to me. I was too drunk to operate my phone. So to be clear,
to be fair,
I was not. I did nothing wrong.
No. Hey, look.
Well, I don't know if that's the right thing. Most expensive night of my life. I think I spent over $5,000 that night.
And I guarantee you, I mean, at the time it seemed logical. At the time it seemed right. At the time you felt like you were getting value for that. The next day, that's a horrible, remorseful feeling. It's like,
the worst.
But we've all been there. It's like, it's so funny. There's the different kinds of guys at a strip club, right? We talked about earlier, the guy who thinks the stripper loves him, right? There's the other guy who says like, oh yeah, he's all bullshit against the stripper. If you got like 5 or more guys in a group, everybody's like, there's one guy that's like, I don't want to go to a strip club. That's nonsense. That dude's going to spend more money than anybody else in the group because when he gets in, he's going to get hooked. And he's going to be gone for like an hour and a half or 2 hours getting lap dances.
I've got the best strip club friend in the world. Very first time I go to a strip club, I go back to get a lap dance, you know. I come out and I'm paying and I look up and my buddy is upside down on the pole. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? We're about to get kicked. Like, we might be violently attacked by
right.
Apparently they did a thing. Anyone think they can go upside down on the pole? You'll win a free something or other. And my buddy, never ever, I've been to a handful of strip clubs with him easily. Never ever gets a dance. Never ever was interested. Never complained about going to a strip club though. He was always like, "Nah, I'll just have a drink and I don't care. You can go back for 2 hours. I'll watch TV and drink and I'll tell girls no." And he does. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it's almost like a superpower. Oh. It's like I don't. He's like, I have no interest, but he doesn't dislike being there. He's like, look, no. Yeah, I watch sports on TV. There's a naked girl twirling on the pole. It's not like I'm like, because I'll go back and be gone for 2-3 hours, and I'll come back and he'll be sitting there drinking and watching whatever baseball games on TV, and just like, oh, did you have a good time? And it's like, what the fuck? How do you do this? I wish I had your self-control.
Jeff, I have graduated to that level. And the only way that I was able to do that was the Life of Hard Knocks in Las Vegas, Nevada. I took enough trips to Las Vegas that I understood going into a strip club in Las Vegas. Like, you had to be a veteran, you know? And it was great because in Vegas, it's the most gorgeous strippers you've ever seen in your entire world. I mean, like, these girls there's nowhere. The crazy hot scale, right? That still counts. You know, they're really hot, but they're really fucking crazy.
They're really
fucking crazy. But if you can go in there and hold back, yeah, why would I not sit back and watch March Madness while I have titties just bouncing around me? And like, yeah, that's fantastic. If you cannot spend the money. I've become that guy. It took me many, many bank accounts to get there. But like, Vegas is a whole nother level. It's, you mentioned earlier how they smell you, they like sniff you out as a rookie. I remember one of the first Vegas clubs I went to, everywhere on the East Coast, if you went anywhere, they'd be like, do you want to dance? You'd have to get up to go to the back, right? You'd have to go to the room somewhere back here. Then we give you a lap dance, right? And that's when you paid money. So I remember sitting in Vegas and we're just like right out by the stage. And the girl comes by and she's like talking. She's like, do you want to go back for a dance? I'm like, nah, I'm good. She was like, well, what if I just give you a dance here at the table? And I'm like, okay, whatever. And about 3 moves into what she was doing, I looked at my buddy and I realized like, oh shit, this isn't free. I have to pay for this because what she was doing at the table was way worse than anything I used to get back there. But now I'm pot committed, poker speak. I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I have to pay this. I got duped into it. Yeah, I had no idea. No idea.
You can't have a misunderstanding with a stripper.
No.
Because you always lose.
Yes, you will. Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite moment was I had to go to the bathroom to look up in Spanish because the stripper was in St. Pete, not overseas.
You weren't Miami.
Was asking me if I wanted to go to the back room, and I could understand what she was asking, but she did not understand me. So I go to the bathroom and use the Google translator, and I'm like, "Tú eres bonita, pero no esta noche." You're very pretty, but not tonight.
Not tonight.
Yeah. So now I know that line. But the other factor was it was like I was also looking up on my phone, "Will you suck my dick?" And the translations were not good. I'm like, I know enough Spanish to know this is not gonna. She's not gonna understand, and even if she does understand, I might get in trouble. Like, that's the move of like, do you want to go to the back? It's like, what happens back there? Oh, it's a lot. The answer, it's a lot of fun. I'm like, I'm gonna need a little more specificity.
Dude, I'll tell you,
like, I'm not paying $200 for you to rub your butt on my shorts.
That Myrtle Beach trip where like 10 of us were down there and playing golf for like a weekend, and it became, I feel like we were known, right? I mean, again, it's in the afternoon on a Thursday, so automatically, but we would show up at like 3:00 on a Thursday and close the strip club at like 3 a.m. It'd be like 12 hours solid in the strip club. So by the time the new shift came in, they knew who we were. So it became way easier. So at this point, they weren't even looking for money at this point. We were just the fun guys in the corner that were spending some money. So they hung out with us. Like it's crazy. And then after, I would say probably about 6 months to a year after that, one of my really good friends who has been in restaurant management his entire life, he took a job managing a restaurant in Myrtle Beach. He didn't go down to marry a stripper. He just happened to get the job in Myrtle Beach. But we went back like 6 months, a year later, and we go back in. Have you ever been, you talked about your friend who's a good strip club buddy. Have you been to a strip club with someone before and you have that aha moment of like, oh, this is not his first time. Like they know him here.
No, I think I've had buddies who've probably had that with me.
You're that guy. That's even better.
Probably no. I know one of my old coworkers, buddy of mine, who married a girl who was a stripper. We went to some clubs and she knew the ins and the outs. So that was the closest where it's like, I got an inside man. Like, she'll suss things out. Dude, I went with, my most dangerous strip club moment. I went to a strip club, 2 dudes and that chick. And apparently I went on the way to the bar and I bumped into somebody who was, this tall and angry. And he got in my face. And apparently my reaction, I was blackout drunk. I don't remember this. This is all secondhand story. My reaction was I gave him a hug and said, "It's all love, brother. We're good." And that made him very upset because I kind of apparently I was like a monster compared to his little mini me. And it was like a ragdoll situation where I hugged him and I did. There's no ill intent on my part though. I was just drunk. I was trying to get to the bar. I bumped his elbow when I walked by. Whatever. So he and his friends start fucking coming at me, and I'm too shit faced to know what happens. So I'm moseying on back with my drink, and they got like 20 guys in this club about to jump me.
Jesus.
And I got 2 guys and a girl there who see that shit's about to go down. They pull me out. We run out of the club, and a stripper's leaving the club. And luckily, the girl was with us, and she said, "Can you drive us to that club 1 mile down the road?" Because again, Tampa. And she's like, "Sure." So the girl gets in the front seat, and me and 2 other guys get in the back seat, and I have to sit in a baby's car seat in the back seat. By the way, I was by far the biggest guy. I don't know why that I would. So the next day I woke up, I'm like, "Oh, my neck hurts. What the fuck did that happen?" And they're like, "Well, you had to sit like this for 2 minutes while we raced away from a gang war at a strip club. You were in a car seat." And I'm like, "Why was I in a car seat?" They tell me the story. I'm like, what else happened? And they're like, "Well, you said, I'm going to pay $200 and get a hand job and a half gram of cocaine from a stripper at this club." And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, you were very insistent. You had $200 cash. You were going to get a hand job and a half gram of coke." And I'm like, "That's ridiculous."
It's called budgeting.
I look at my wallet. Had about a half gram, a little less than a half gram of cocaine in a little baggie. I looked at my credit card statement. You bet your ass I spent $200 there.
Mission accomplished.
Man, I'm like, did I get a hand job too? Yeah,
Mission accomplished.
But seems like you checked the marks. I'm like,
so the guy that we went back to Myrtle with, it was like a year and a half later, and we went down for a golf tournament, and we go back to one of the same strip clubs that we had been there all as guests, as tourists a year and a half before. And we go in and we sit down at this table right up next to the stage, and my buddy throws his pack of cigarettes on the table, and there's like 3 of us sitting there, and 2 strippers come around. They immediately put their hand on his shoulder, kiss him on the cheek, reach into the pack of cigarettes and take one out and light it, and then walk away. And then the next one does the same thing. So immediately, me and the other guy who haven't lived there for a year are like, "So you come here often?" so they know you? Like, oh,
damn.
Dude, he had upgraded to VIP status at this point.
Yeah,
but
he's got cred in that place.
Oh, it was cred. All of a sudden we were known. But so I'll go back to, you and I talked about a little bit earlier, is I think, as we said, we grow levels. You go to the strip club, you're excited, you kind of get to the point that you're getting some gratification out of it. Eventually it becomes old hat like anything else. You just want to be entertained, right? At some point, they are performers. I appreciate the entertainment value that comes with that. So I told you prior to us talking this about an idea. My friends used to give me so much shit about this, but I used to always say is find a spring break town somewhere, Daytona, somewhere in Florida, open a strip club that is just oddities. Open an oddity strip club. I'm talking about little people. I'm talking about one arm. I'm talking about one leg. I'm just saying, if you get enough drunken college men in one area, that will draw money. It will draw money. Would you not, Jeff? If you're hanging out with 5 of your guys who are like, you wouldn't go to that club. Yes, you would. You would not want to see a midget strip.
No.
What? How could you not? Oh my God. Anyway, like, I know it's look, I want to tell you. So we
it's a great idea. It would make
I'm just
money,
saying.
to be
But
clear,
listen to me.
But
So look, we've had this ongoing thing for forever, and we're at my buddy's bachelor party that gets rerouted somewhere, and we all end up having to fly into Atlanta. And we're driving to the beach or the lake house that we're going to get to, and we go by a strip club, and we've had this argument, and they've given me the same look you gave me, Jeff, for years about my oddity strip club. And up on the sign it goes, "Tonight, Bridget the Midget," from Howard Stern show. And I see, and I'm like, "No, we're going." And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Yes, we are. I'm paying. Like, let's go." And I make them pull into the strip club so that we can go watch Bridget the Midget strip. And Jeff, it was everything I ever dreamt it could be. It was phenomenal. Like, I don't want to get us canceled or thrown off, but I'm just saying, the tiny arms.
All right. There was one time my destination went to a strip club was like the worst time ever. Great photo.
Yeah, that doesn't seem bad at all.
She was a
tuxedo shirt.
Oh yeah. It's like our wedding photo. Softcore porn star Jaden Cole. I think she has an OnlyFans for sure.
Yeah.
And I was a little thinner, a little younger. I'm just staring at myself in this photo more than her. Oh, never mind. But no, that was my Bridget the Midget.
Bro.
So
I'm just saying,
yeah, no,
the lap dance was unparalleled. I'm just saying.
Oh, you got a lap dance from her?
Hell yeah, I got a lap. Why? How could I not?
How does that work?
Very.
Just like a lump.
Yeah,
God,
no, right. Like her feet weren't touching the sides of the chair.
Well, no shit. Yeah,
dude.
Just like I'll throw a 10-pound bag of flour on your dick,
bro. Like, look, I became such a fan of like the oddity of the strip club. So then I'll go down your way. One time we went to Key Largo for my buddy's like 40th birthday. And there's a bunch of us, and we went fishing for the day. As we're driving back, we passed this place somewhere in the Keys called Woody's. And it had like an old like station wagon, the Woody. And we're like, "Oh, that's cool. We should go in there." It's like 3 p.m. on a Friday. And we go into Woody's strip club. And it's happy hour, so it's 2 for 1. So we're ordering a shot and a beer. We're getting 2 shots, 2 beers. We don't split them up like normal humans. We just take twice as much as we expected. And as we're doing this, there's like 3 strippers in the whole joint, right? And there's like 3 stages. There's like one here, and one here. As there's like 7 people in the bar. 4 of them are us. And we're sitting there, and as the girl's like dancing up on the pole, I see another stripper stick her head out of the back door, and she goes, "Hey, we're ordering lunch." The stripper on the pole's like, "Where are you getting food from?" She's like, around the corner. She's like, "Get me chicken fingers." Like, she's placing her lunch order while she's dancing on the pole. It was the greatest, most horrible thing I've ever seen. So as we're laughing,
right? Yes.
So as we're laughing about that, I'm talking to my buddy, and out of the corner of my eye, I just see like a flare, like a light flash. Right? There's just a flare, and I look over. And the girl who just ordered chicken strips was standing in front of 3 guys, the other 3 guys in the bar, and there were flames coming out of her nipple. And I'm like, what? And so she starts walking back around, and she comes over to me and my buddy who smokes. And I'm like, "Hey, didn't I just see you over there?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I swear to God, I saw a flame." And she goes, "Yeah, do you smoke?" Both of us were like, "Uh-huh." Put a cigarette in our mouth. She takes a book of matches out. She strikes the match, sticks it into her nipple so that the match is sticking out and like lighting.
Oh,
and
Jesus Christ.
Okay, right. So, but both of us didn't know what to expect. So as she did this, we're just looking at her with cigarettes in her mouth as the flame burns down. And she's like, "Fucking light your cigarette, light your cigarette." And like knocks. Oh my God! These are the strip club moments I look for now, Jeff. I don't go anymore for the hot chick. I don't even go for the blow and a blow job. I just go for Bridget the midget and her tiny hands, or flames coming out of the nipples of the chick who just
Flames coming out of the nipples. I feel like we probably might as well save this for a future episode, but I'll let it play.
Oh, it's so good. It should be noted that strippers don't get enough credit for the dancing that they do is absolutely hard. This whole stripper pole dancing became a fad, and I've dated girls who did this. And it's incredibly difficult.
I have a whole other story, and we'll save that. We've got other clips to play.
Yeah,
save all those for another episode. Send us your stories, comment, or there's an email if you want to be anonymous. Send us your strip club stories, because look, I stripper pole things, like I get nervous sometimes when they go up there. So,
well, dude, I literally, it became a fad, right? Like all of a sudden it was like an aerobic thing that women would go to, like pole dancing classes,
which I didn't mind. But
no, me either. But my ex-wife went, and she came back, and it looked like she'd been beaten all day, dude. She had bruises all over her abs were sore. She couldn't laugh for a week. Like,
and that's what happens. That's what happens when you draw on your husband's face when he's passed out drunk.
That's what happens. Right? Look,
I might have to edit that out of the episode.
But it really is like they get credit for this, dude.
Real quick, let's give our recommendation for the week. This guy, I kind of want to play this clip before I recommend him, because it relates to this show. Jonesy, comedian.
Yeah, so I've been ever since I transitioned to doing Florida Fridays on my show, it's become the most popular episode of Florida, the week. Man. Every Friday, people look forward to the Florida stories, and everybody emails me these crazy Florida stories.
Look at how bad my lighting was back then.
That one this past week, the women assaulted a man with glitter, but just everybody sent me this story. It was like I was getting hit up, like, you got to see this, and it was worth it. I mean, it was really something.
Awesome. Did you see their mugshots?
Strippers.
Yay.
You saw the mugshots, right? They looked so pleased.
They were so happy with themselves.
I mean, how much Molly are they on? I mean, this is
so look, you can easily check out the channel you're watching right now to see the rest of that video was of us talking about these strippers. And but Jonesy, you can check him out. He's a hilarious comedian. Subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Had a pretty good time. Yeah, it's nice to have plastic straws again. That's pretty cool. Oh fuck yeah, they got plastic straws everywhere. They're nice. They're firm. They work. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling them in Dallas because they don't know that we have paper straws here. They don't even know what that is. It was like nothing to be impressed about. You take about 4 pulls and it turns into a wet noodle, right? Shit don't work at all. It's horrible. It was one turtle that fucked it up. Right? You know about the turtle? Yeah, some of you don't know about the turtle. They found this turtle in the ocean. Poor thing was dead, had a plastic straw up its snout. And now we can't have fun anymore. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. We don't know what really happened with this turtle. They say it's an ecological disaster. Or maybe that turtle was up all night with its friends snorting coke. We don't know. You know what I mean? Plastic straws are used for such things. Yeah? You try to snort coke out of.
Yeah, I have. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. We heard about that earlier.
So subscribe to Jonesy and make sure you subscribe here, so you can watch every episode of the Dad's Good Show. Dad's Good Show. See you next week, folks.